Courtney having a baby.
Hi guys, my name's Courtney. Welcome back to my channel. I just finished uploading my 25-week bump date when I realized that there's still a lot of information in relation to work that I would like to address and just put into one video just so that everyone kind of knows what's going on with my work situation. First of all, I have 3 weeks left of flying. After that 3 weeks, I have 6 weeks of annual leave that I thought that I would take just towards the beginning of my 3rd trimester, just because I don't want to be flying at that time in my pregnancy, but I'm still physically and medically able to. So I've taken 6 weeks of annual leave, which starts in 3 weeks time. That gets me through till 35 weeks of pregnancy, which is when I will start working on the ground. As I mentioned in my 25-week bump date, I did manage to get groundwork by informing my boss that if they were unable to provide me with safe work on the ground, they would have to pay me something called no safe job leave until my baby is born. So to avoid having to pay me that leave, they have somehow managed to find some work on the ground, even though they said there was none available for me. So I will be working on the ground once my annual leave finishes at 35 weeks. I'm aiming to work on the ground until about 38 weeks of pregnancy, or just until I don't feel comfortable enough to go to work anymore. So that leaves me with a lot less time of not getting paid, which is great. Also, something that I did not mention in the bump date is that I managed to get limited flying hours. So thanks to my OBGYN writing me a doctor's certificate, I can now only fly 2 sectors a day. Each sector can't exceed 2 hours, which is actually not that bad considering that we don't actually have any flights out of Townsville that are over 2 hours. So it shouldn't be too hard for the company to work around that. It just cuts out those 3-hour-long flights that I was talking about in previous videos that are full-on business class services where I don't get time to sit down and eat. So it just cuts those flights out. So now I'm just back to doing our flights, which works perfectly for me because I am completely able to do those flights. So on top of getting limited flying hours through my OBGYN for work, fighting for my rights with getting paid until my baby's born because I'm unable to actually fly at the end of my pregnancy because it's not safe, having to actually call in sick for a few duties for pregnancy related issues, and also having to call in sick for a week and a half time when I have my glucose test. I was rostered a duty that I cannot do because I now have a doctor's appointment. So taking all those things into consideration, I'm feeling like I've been messing the company around quite a bit and they're not happy about it. That's just how I'm feeling. I don't know if that's true. Whenever I've called ops recently and had to call in sick or talk to them about anything, I can just hear the tone in their voice that they're kind of like, oh, here we go again. But there's nothing I can do about it. I'm going to put me first and my baby first. For the last 5 years, I've put my job in front of everyone, including my family and my husband and myself and my social needs. My work has always come first. But this is just a situation where I don't feel like work needs to come first. It shouldn't come first. My baby's health should come first. In the last 5 years, I have barely called in sick, maybe just a handful of times for things like when I got my wisdom teeth out, I called in sick for 6 days there, and maybe just 2 or 3 other times when I've had sinus infections. So I feel like I've spent the last 5 years working really hard and being a hard worker, and now that I'm pregnant, I'm finding it a lot harder to go to work while I'm sick and do all the things that I used to do. So I have been taking care of myself a little bit more and taking time off if I need it, and I don't think the company likes that very much. I'm a hard worker, I don't like to call in sick, but like I said, in this circumstance, I'm sorry my baby comes first. Starting to feel a little bit like I'm annoying them every time I call up sick. And of course I can't know for sure, but I'm getting the feeling that I'm going to be getting a lot of grief from them in the future if I was to try and get my job back once I'm finished my maternity leave. Legally, they are required to hold my job for me for up to 2 years. I can extend my maternity leave up to 2 years. Obviously, it's only paid for 18 weeks through the government, not through my company doesn't actually pay maternity leave. But I can take maternity leave unpaid for 2 years and they have to hold my job for me. As some of you might know, I am moving to Brisbane just a few short weeks after she's born. So that's a completely different base in Brisbane to where I live in Townsville now. So they do not have to open up a job for me in Brisbane, which I'm now assuming because of everything that's happened in the last 6 months because of my pregnancy, they are not going to be giving me a job back in Brisbane. Which is fine because you can't really do this job and have a baby and have a husband that's in the army and never home anyway. So I'm not really planning on coming back to flying, at least not full time. But I just think it's a little bit unprofessional really to make someone feel that way when they've worked really hard to have good work ethic at work and be seen as an employee who can be relied on in showing up to work early and never calling in sick. Anyway, guys, that's my little rant about work, and that's how everything is working now. I have 3 weeks left of flying. I'm very excited that I only have 3 weeks left of flying because I have been doing it for 5 years straight. However, I'm also a little bit, not sad, but it's just going to be different to step into motherhood and kind of step away from flying. Okay guys, if you have any other questions in relation to work and what I'm going to be doing in the future when it comes to flying, just let me know down below. I may have forgotten things that I'd like to talk about because I didn't write a list, I kind of just sat down and talked. So this video might have been all over the place, I do apologise. Let me know if you have any questions down below and I will talk to you soon. Bye!